Welcome back to Everyday Eats with Michele. It has gotten ridiculously cold outside. We're talking negative wind chills. So we're going to take these gorgeous ingredients. We're going to make up a big old batch of chili. Warm, satisfying, perfect, absolutely perfect for these cold winter nights. Let's get started. First thing you'll need is a 6 to 7 quart Dutch oven, medium-high heat. To that, we're going to add in 6 slices of thick-cut applewood smoked bacon. You can use your favorite type of bacon. I like applewood smoked. I've cut my bacon into about 1/2 inch size pieces, and we're just going to let this go until it gets nice and crispy. As you can see, we're starting to develop some color on the bottom of the pan, and that's fine. We want that. That's going to be beautiful flavor we're going to add into our chili later. So we're going to let this go until it's nice and crispy, just like this. This is looking pretty perfect. They probably won't stay crispy because, well, it's going to, simmer in the chili as we go, but it's going to add great flavor. And that bacon fat, don't get rid of it. Keep it in there, because to all of this beautifulness, we are going to add in 2 medium onions. We're going to dice those up, and 4 cloves of garlic that we're going to mince. I passed them right through my garlic press. If you want to mince them by hand, have a good time. We're going to add those into our bacon and our bacon fat, get it all stirred up, develop that flavor some more. You'll notice as we go that brownness on the bottom from when we did the bacon, that's going to come into play later. Now we're going to add in a red bell pepper, and a yellow bell pepper. Dice them up just like you did the onion. Try to keep them around the same size. And we're going to let those just kind of simmer and saute and soften up a little bit for probably about 5 to 7 minutes or so. Give it a stir every now and then, and I think as you do, you'll notice that wonderful bacony flavor that's been stuck to the bottom of the pan, you can go ahead and scrape that off and add that beautiful flavor into your chili. You definitely want to do this. Do not skip this step. You want to scrape up all that gorgeous bacony flavor off the bottom of your pan and get it incorporated into your chili. So once our veggies are nice and softened a little bit, we're going to add in our spice mixtures. There's a bunch going on here, so I'll add the exact quantities down in the description. But we've got a couple kinds of chili powder, some cumin, some oregano, some smoked paprika, and that's my normal base spice mixture. This time I decided to add in a little bit of garlic powder too. It just sounded like something that would be a nice addition, would add a nice little element of flavor. And I've also put in a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, because like I said, it is stupid cold outside and I want a little bit of extra warmth to my chili. We'll throw in a little bit of black pepper as per usual, and about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Drop that down in, and then we'll let these spices develop flavors for about 3-4 minutes or so. Once that's happened, it's time to add the meat. I've got 1 pound each of ground beef and ground pork. We're going to start with the ground beef. I'm going to slide my veggies over just a little bit to give my beef room, because I kind of want to be able to track whether or not the color on my beef is coming from the beef cooking or if it's from the spices. So if it's kind of by itself, it's a little bit easier to tell. We're going to cook this through a bit. We want to get a little bit of color on our beef, break it up into smaller chunks. Once we've achieved some color, we're going to add that in, mix it all through our veggies and our bacon. And then it'll be time to shove it over to the side and do the exact same thing with our pork. Again, we've got about 1 pound, mine's I think just a little bit over 1 pound, that's just how the packaging ran, of ground pork. Chop it up a little bit into smaller pieces, and we're just going to let that develop some color. This is looking pretty good. Got a little bit of color going on, that's perfect. We'll break it up. And again, we're going to mix it all up into the rest of our chili mixture, breaking up the bigger chunks as we go. If we don't get them broken up all the way now, it is not a big deal. This batch is going to have about 1.5 hours of simmering time coming up, so it'll naturally break down a little bit during that time as well. But this is looking perfect. It smells amazing. The spices are just phenomenal in this right now. All right, so next up, we have our beans. I've got a 15-ounce can each of black beans and kidney beans. I've drained them, I've rinsed them, because sometimes they're a little soapy when they come right out of the can. We'll mix those in. I've seen a lot of recipes where it says, just dump them right in out of the can, and I've never done that. I've always drained them and I rinsed them. But then I recently read an article that was talking about how that starchy water adds a really good flavor to your chili. So I decided to save that starchy water. It's about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup. I'm going to add it down in my chili, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. It should be okay. Now I'm going to add in a cup of chicken stock. Most recipes at this point call for beer. I don't drink beer. I don't like beer. Chris is not really a beer drinker anymore either. He's kind of more of a whiskey guy now. So I'm going to do chicken stock. If you know what kind of beer you want to add into this, what would work, drop me a comment down below so I have a clue. Because again, I don't drink beer. I don't even know where to start. But we'll get this all mixed in. And then it's time for our tomatoes. I've got a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. We'll add that down in. Follow that up with a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice. You definitely want to keep the juice in here because it's going to help with our simmering time. Typically when I make this for myself and Chris, I will either do all crushed tomatoes or I'll take my immersion blender and I'll kind of blend up the diced tomatoes a little bit because Chris is not a fan of the chunks of tomatoes. He's not a big tomato guy. But I thought for the video, the chunks would look really pretty, and they kind of do. A nice little pop of red color. So he's just going to have to pick them out, and that'll be fine. Not a big deal. This is looking fantastic. It smells ridiculously good. So this is going to simmer away for about an hour and a half. You'll notice that we've reduced it a little bit in quantity. And also my liquid's coming to the top. So about every 20 minutes or so. It's not a bad thing. Just give it a stir and get everything all reincorporated. This looks fantastic. Okay, so to serve this, what I usually do is we usually just throw some oyster crackers in it. Okay, maybe a little bit of toast. We are going to top it off, however, with a little bit of shredded cheese, shredded cheddar cheese, a little bit more bacon, and some scallions, and that's it. You've got the perfect thing to warm you up on these ridiculously cold winter nights. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next week.